Arewa people are backwards, Arewa people are illiterates, Arewa people are poor, and Arewa people have a regressive mindset. Now, if this statement upsets you because you feel like we're roping the 10% into this generalization, rather than the fact that this is actually true for 90% of the Arewa population, then you're also part of the problem. The educated illiterates, like I like to call them, these are people that feel like we must protect or defend Arewa's reputation or image at any cost, whatever that means. Because, the world sees us exactly for who we are. We have the highest number of out-of-school children in the world. In the world, like the entire globe, the entire earth, we have the highest number of out-of-school children in the world. And Nigeria is on that list because of Arewa. Do not play that mental gymnastics with me. We all know that Nigeria is on that list because of Arewa. India has a population of 1.5 billion people. Nigeria has a population of less than 300 million people. But somehow, Arewa region has more out-of-school children than in India. Do you realize how crazy with this? Nigeria, with just less than 20% of India's population, we have managed to take that trophy home, that we have the highest number of out-of-school children in the world. Higher than India. India would, I don't know if, when I learned it wrecked me, to be honest. Because what do you mean they have a 1.5 billion population, we have a 300 million population, and we have more out-of-school children than them? They're like times 5 plus number of us, but somehow we have taken that trophy home. And we all know that we're there because of Arewa. So the educated illiterates, that are this Arewa pride, come on. It is true. Honestly, it is true. Now is not the time to defend Arewa. Now is the time to realize that something is actually wrong. Something has been wrong for a very long while. And the only way to fix or correct it is by acknowledging that something is clearly wrong. No matter whatever the intentions of people that point this out, we cannot ignore the fact that it's the truth. I remembered someone that we were casually having a conversation, and he said something along the lines of, the North remembers. And I was like, what do you mean by the North remembers? She's like, oh, we're powerful, we're united. I was like, we're not. We're hungry and we're vulnerable. If you give people rice, they will do whatever for it. If you give them food or money, they will do whatever for it. Because we're hungry, we're vulnerable. So this image in your head that you've created, that we're this united force, we are not. We're plagued by insecurity, plagued by hunger, plagued by, by poverty and illiteracy. Okay, let me calm down. Another thing is we have a morality problem, right? If you want to outrage Arewa people, and this is a proof of our illiteracy, right? If you want to outrage Arewa people, let a woman show skin or hair. That is what will get the most outrage. Not people killing people, not people kidnapping people, not people stealing public funds. Nothing like that. If you want Arewa to be outraged, do something that is morality related. Gossip, all these things. This is what outraged Arewa. I think there was mass weddings that happened in like three states. Let's say from last year to now or more. I don't actually remember. But nothing from the people, nothing from the people. But an actress came out last month, was it, or whatever, to say that she's not going to get married or something along the lines of that. And all of a sudden, people are outraged. I've blocked more than 20 people that came to my FYP because I don't like listening to fools. So when I see that, I just block you because I don't have the patience to listen to you. Like, what do you mean an actress' opinion on whether she wants to get married or not is what gets you outraged? What do you mean that is what gets you upset? I don't even want to talk about the other scandals because I do not even want to acknowledge that they exist. But I know that they exist. I know there's so many causes that we've tried, people have tried all over, to raise awareness on, to get people to talk about it, to get people to demand justice, and nothing will be done about it. Okay, let me move on. Now, if we, and the reason you're upset about this, Arewa illiterate stuff is because it's true. No matter how hurtful it sounds, it is true. There is no denying that we're backward, we're regressive, we're poor, and we're illiterates. And just because you feel like, you and your family, because I used to do this thing, when I was young, and I used to defend Arewa because I feel like all my family members are educated. When I say all, I mean all my family members are educated. All my family members are privileged to, like, you can understand English. You're part of the privileged population. You went to school. You're part of the privileged, population. So I used to think that, like, my family are Arewa. So when you say statements like that, I used to feel like, oh, that is so wrong because we're not like that. But then I realized we're just like, 10% of the population? We're the minority. The vast majority of the Arewa people are on the streets begging or doing stuff like that. So just because your family and friends do not represent the Arewa population, just because you feel like everybody in your family is educated, everybody in your family is privileged, everybody in your family has a decent job or is making a decent living, does not mean that, that is the reality for the Arewa. If 9 out of 10 people, in your house are doctors and you say that, my family are doctors, would that be a wrong statement? Of course, the most correct statement is going to be most of my family members. But if 9 out of 10, if you use the 9 to represent the 10 people, would that be wrong? It would not. And that is the exact situation we're here in Arewa. Arewa is illiterate. Arewa is illiterate. I'm part of Arewa, and I'm saying Arewa is illiterate. Because 1% or 10% of the population does not mean, that Arewa is not going through whatever it is that it's going through. And again, why don't you try these generalizations with other people, other countries, other regions, and you would see if they would react the same way. Because it's not true, honestly. Why don't you say the Chinese are underdeveloped or whatever? Nobody's going to get upset because it's just not true. So you're upset, you're angry because it is true, all right? And another thing is, not everything is an attack. Honestly, not everything that comes from someone has to be an attack. It hurts you because it is the truth.
So years back when the debate was going on about abolition, almajiranchi, street begging and the rest of it in northern Nigeria, and how everybody decided to keep quiet, I knew that something was completely off. And you know what is off about all of this? They don't want that to end because they want to use it to get the power, to get the money and all that they need. And it's working because we are being fools. Yes, Northerners are actually fools. We need to understand that we are fools, including myself.
The North is the problem of Nigeria. Mu embarani. We are beggars. A lot of us in Northern Nigeria were upset yesterday. Why would you say it? Amajama'a, look back and look at what is happening in Northern Nigeria. We have the worst level of education anybody can have ever seen. I don't think anywhere in the world we have this kind of education. Boko, that takes people away from poverty, that liberates people, that give people a level playing ground. Adunia Gabadea. We have the worst. And Muna the one babam problem called almajiranchi that is crippling our economy from the roots. Why have we not abolished it? Oh no, it's good for it helps people learn the religion. Fantastic. There's no lie. However, can you categorically tell me it has done more harm than good or more good than harm? An average almajiri does not have any chance at life. That child, yaron can ya girma da zafi a zuciya. He's abandoned. Do you know what abandonment does? The structure, the system of Northern Nigeria was built to impoverish Northerners. That's why we have the highest level of poverty. Kokunki kokunso gaskiya ɗaya ne. Arewacin Nigeria, our big men, the rich ones, they have crafted Arewa society in such a way that very few people can become wealthy and ambitious and affluent, and the remaining are left down there. Mune and Dabomu are next to none in the world. Mune and Baramu, they are beggars everywhere, but ne Arewa, yo, Mune PhD, Mune A1. Go to Lagos, go to Abakaliki, go anywhere, you will find Arewa beggars. How many Igbo beggars kukagani? Masubaraba? Akachi Akurezo? No. Then let's talk about the whole system of Arewa, how it's built. You are taught to honor. You are taught not to question authority. An average Arewa person is not somebody who is stubborn. Even if you have that zeal to question authority. Don't question authority. You have to be humble. Humility is good, but look at where it has brought us today. So look back. If you want to fight, but look inwards. I
really appreciate Vidian. Vidian, kudos. You tried. That is the message I've been trying to pass for so long. You have done it all. Thank you, Vidian, for saying it the way it is. You have really tried. I appreciate. Vidian, don't mind all those illiterates that are disturbing and insulting. They don't know what they are doing. They will know very soon. They've not known what they are into. They will not know. Few of the Fulanis, some bad eggs among the Fulani. They can lie. I don't know where they learn how to lie. They can lie and they can deceive. You think you can deceive and lie to somebody for so long? The truth will come out. 99 days for the thief, 1 day for the owner. I appreciate VDN very well. Thank you for doing this job for us. Thank you so much for enlightening our useless illiterates. Smoothing. They will bring the religion to it. Let's see how far you can use the religion to deceive Nigerians. Let's see how far.
Vidiam has spoken well yesterday and he advocated for Hausa people, but look at how Fulani got twisted everything yesterday.
Boko Haram is from the north and their leader is not Hausa. Banditry is from the north and their leader is not Hausa. A question to Vidiam. Why did you generalize the entire community and tribe of Hausa as terrorists, kidnappers and criminals?
He said that VDM has ethnic profiled against Hausa people. How? There is no place where VDM said that Hausa people are bandits or something like that. He only said that Hausa speaking people are the ones perpetrating banditry. And it's true. His only mistake is that VDM should learn how to start calling these bandits by their tribes, because he should not be afraid of them. He should not be afraid of them. And the bandits who are terrorizing northwest states, which are Hausa states, are all Fulani. 100% of them are Fulani. You can never find a single Hausa man among those people who are terrorizing northwest states. But VDM should learn. Even under his comment section, I wrote, you have done a wonderful job, and we Hausa activists are happy with what you do. But because of the concept of Hausa speaking people, some people might think that you are trying to say that Hausa people are the ones who are doing banditry. No, you really did a wonderful job, and this is what we are trying to push for everybody to hear. But because we don't have that louder voice that everybody can reach everywhere, that is why nobody is listening to what we are saying. But Hausa activists are very, very happy with what you did yesterday. Yes, but the concept of Hausa speaking people should be changed with just Arewa or North, because some people will miscut you and say that you say that all Hausa people are the one doing banditry. And you spoke, you advocated for us for saying that our people, the Hausa, native Hausa people, because he talked about two problems. He talked about Hausa speaking people. Then in the middle of the video, he also talked about the real indigenous Hausa people, how we have been subjected into abject poverty by the Fulani people, because they are the ones occupying political positions and even traditional positions. They don't allow Hausa people to be anything. They push our children to be almajiris, and those almajiris, is not that they cannot control almajiri. No, they can do it. Even Goodluck Ebele Jonathan try his best, but if Hausa person or if Hausa children get to know what they are doing, they are going to come and start thinking about how they are going to get back their glory, which was stolen by the Fulani elites. So VDM has no apology. There is no need for him to tender apology to Hausa people for saying that Hausa speaking people are. No, you advocated for us. And because of this type of advocacy that we are trying to push now, two of our Hausa activists are in detention. One has been there for 4 years, and the other one is an intellectual and is now in detention. He's still in jail without being sent to court.
So I saw a lot of you guys dragging VDM on the post he made recently about the northern part of Nigeria, which I'm very, very sure you guys know what he said was true, but you are just trying to, as much as possible, to hide behind the finger, which is not going to save you. So it's better for us to just wake up and accept the reality and try to change, because if the south is going to stay stuck for 50 years, the north is not going to reach their development. We are not going to reach where they are. We are way behind, and we have to accept the fact so that we can start moving ahead, so that we can start making changes. Us denying the fact that we are behind, it's not going to improve us anywhere. Is it about the poverty? Is it about the illiteracy? What was the false statement he made? And from now on, the Kano Writer movement is going to prove all he said, from evidences about the people, the almajiris everywhere. The poverty is everywhere. What is being taught in our schools in the north? What are our secondary school graduates? What are they capable of doing? We are going to prove this thing next week, inshallah, by the grace of God. We are going to prove this to every one of you. So I don't know what you guys are dragging him for. If we are to calm down and adjust and try to amend our ways and improve the northern part of Nigeria, we can do it. But if we keep dragging people that are saying the truth, we are not going nowhere.
But the north is in a very, very big mess, and I will not stop talking about this. The problem of Almajiri has a far-reaching long-term effect that we might not even be seeing right now. And if what we are seeing today with issues of banditry and terrorism to some extent can be said to be from the Almajiri system, I believe the end is not in sight. I have been in the Northwest for 10 years. I've been in Kano specifically for a couple of years now. When I came here, I decided that rather than having these boys coming to my house to knock every morning and evening to beg for food, I would employ them. I would employ them and give them money at the end of the month. Now, when I see them come, what I usually do is I'll tell them to wait for me. I have maybe plates for them to wash and stuff. And then before I would come out, I wouldn't see those boys again. This is not once. This was not twice. It was not even thrice. This became a repeated pattern that I saw. That these boys aged 8, 9, 10, 11, up until 17, they don't want to work. They have zero interest in working. All they want to do is to get free meals. Fortunately, I was able to get one. I was a little bit level-headed. And I decided to treat him how Rasulullah ﷺ told us to treat people who work under you. It wasn't part of our bargain that I was going to feed him or clothe him or do anything apart from giving him money. So this boy started working for me. He was obedient. He used to do all of the things I wanted for him. Very loyal at the time. And I expose him to a lot of things because anytime he comes to my house, he has this body odor and I hated body odor. So I called him, I literally trained him from ground up. This is how you act, this is how you dress, this is how you speak. Every single thing you know somebody training a child would do was what I decided to do. And so I took him to the market, I got roll-ons for him, bathing, so to make him look like a human being and smell like a human being. And if I would get some things for myself, even shawarma or burger or any of the things I love to eat, I give it to him, so I buy for him. Things I would eat at home, I share with him. He was literally living the life. And so I began to observe a pattern. He began to grow a sense of entitlement to the point where sometimes he asks me questions. To the point where sometimes he challenges some of the things I say to him. One time, because I used to take my car to the car wash, so I told him, look, I can't be paying money and then going to the car wash every day to be spending 3,000, 3,500 for cars. You should wash the car. He came to me and told me it wasn't part of the bargain. It wasn't part of the bargain for him to wash car. And then I asked him, I said, was it part of the bargain for you to eat food here, keep your clothes here, cook when you like here? Is that part of the bargain? He said, no. I said, if you want me to deal with you in the business way, you come, you work to go, you go. Because he stays in my house sometimes till 10. He comes whenever he wants. I said, is it part of the bargain to charge your phone here and all of these things? He said, no. I said, the day you want to present this whole thing as a worker, employer-employee relationship, that's how I'm going to take you. And after some time, I began to realize that there was a time I kept money in my car. I always have cash in my car, at least 7,000, 500 denomination. Shit, in case of people on the streets, you want to give money and the stuff. So I was going to travel, and I decided to check the pigeonhole. I told him to clean the car before the next day. When I checked it that night, it was supposed to be 14 by 500. I saw just 4. Like, I'm not stupid. I know that I kept 7,000 here. And then I called him. I said, I kept so money here. Where is it? You didn't see it. You didn't see it. You didn't see it. He said, yes. Mind you, this was weeks after he had told me to get him a phone. He saved money and bought an Android phone. I gave him a phone. So that phone was stolen, and he's now asking me to buy another phone for him. And after some weeks, I observed that money was not there. I called him, he denied. After chousing him, he now decided to tell me that yes, he was the one that took the money. I said, okay, bring my money and keep it back to me. I'll let you be the last day. And since then, I observed that he was becoming less interested in working and more interested in doing big boy. He wanted to live life. Many a times I would tell him, you're in a hurry, you need to calm down. And then I got another one to work for me so that the both of them would work. Mind you, I live in a small room. I don't live in a big house. Just to make sure, as part of my own contribution to society, I'm getting 2 people out of the streets and making them decent human beings. On this very good day, my cousin brother was around, and the both of them came in, they didn't greet, which is an attitude I've observed here too. I don't walk past small boys and teenagers. If they don't greet me out, then I'll keep quiet. I don't. I call all of them and gather all of them and tell them, did you see me? They'll say yes. I say, don't ever try this again. All of you should greet me one after the other. This is my own contribution to society. And so my cousin brother observed this too, and he said, these people don't greet. And then I called the 2 of them and scolded them properly. I was even talking, one of them was pressing phone. I said, if you try that again, I will drive you out of this place. I scolded them properly. 2 things happened. The younger one, that was maybe around 14 years old, as soon as I was done, he walked out. The second one, he said, in translation, it seemed like you're getting tired of me, right? This is somebody that I'm older than with like maybe 12 years. And then I told him to jump up. Keep that phone down. Don't ever in your life mention something like this again. He said, he observed that sometimes when he does something, when this boy does something, this other guy does something, and I blame the 2 of them. I said, okay, tell me the times that he did something that I scolded the both of you together apart from today. And he said, you must explain and give me references of those days that those things happened. He kept quiet. And from that day, I told him, your clothes that are in the other room, take them out. My books that you removed out of the bag and replace it with your clothes, put my books back into the bag. You come in here to eat, stopped. As soon as you come in the morning, do your job and go back. You come in here to plug your phone in the evening, stopped. You come in here to eat, stopped. Me buying certain things for you, stopped. Just come, do your work and go back home. The other kid that went out, I had to go and look for him. And I cautioned him. And I called him and I advised him. But the reason why I'm making this video is 2 things you observed. It's either you have one category of people in the Almajiri system, which is the vast majority of them, by the way, who are absolutely not interested in working. And the second group of people who might be interested in some sort of work, but they cannot stand to be corrected. They hate correction. And both of these things have very dangerous consequences. It is a sequel back to the video I made the other day, where you have people who would get employed and then get fired, or they're going to leave the job. In any case, they're left without jobs. And when things like banditry and kidnapping, that is very profitable, extremely profitable, comes their way, do you think in your heart of hearts that these people are going to see these opportunities and then keep quiet about it? If you think that, then your brain is on a vacation. And if you don't, then these efforts must be collective. Every single person in their own right as a human being must do something to make sure this doesn't continue. And one of the first ways of doing this is A, don't give them money or food. B, if you're going to give them food or money, let it be in exchange for some sort of work. And C, if they're under your mentorship or under your guardianship, you must treat them just like you are going to treat somebody you're training. No extra privileges, no joking around, proper tarbiyah. May God just help us. But the North is in a very, very big mess. And I will not stop talking about this until each and every one of us begins to put in some sort of change in ourselves and the society at large.